All right, let's dive right into this explainer by looking at network security through a surprisingly relatable lens, the automotive mechanic. While a novice might just bang away at a stubborn engine part with a hammer, crossing their fingers and hoping for a fix, true experts, they reach into their toolkit for the exact right gizmo to make the job seem completely effortless. Today, we're building our own digital toolkit and exploring the master command line tool inside it. We're going to make sure you always have the exact right approach for any network you encounter.
Here's a quick look at our agenda for today. We'll start with the Digital Mechanics Toolbox, move on to Master Tool Nmap basics, then cover the classic TCP scans, go beyond TCP into UDP and SCTP, explore stealth and evasion tactics, and wrap it all up with advanced network mapping.
Section 1. The Digital Mechanics Toolbox.
Okay, to execute our Nmap commands effectively, we absolutely need our mobile workshop, right? And that means running Kali Linux on a live, persistent USB drive. By following these specific, highly structured steps, imaging the ISO, creating a new partition, encrypting the whole thing with LUKS, and configuring the persistence file, you're making sure your terminal histories, command outputs, and custom tool configs actually survive system reboots. Basically, you get a secure forensic lab right there in your pocket. Now, this brilliantly illustrates the cloak and dagger reality of penetration testing. Let's say you're traveling with sensitive client data on your USB drive. You absolutely need a failsafe. Well, Kali provides what's known as a nuke password. If you're ever forced to boot up your drive, entering this specific password instead of your normal decryption key intentionally renders the encrypted LUX data store entirely useless. It is literally your ultimate digital self-destruct button.
Section 2. Master Tool Nmap Basics. I absolutely love this quote from the source material because it hits the nail on the head regarding why script kiddies fail. They tend to default to typing a basic synscan command for absolutely everything they do, which is pretty much like hitting an engine with a wrench. True mastery comes from understanding Nmap's massive array of specialized command line flags and knowing exactly when and why to deploy each one against a target.
Section 3. The classic TCP scans.
So let's compare our primary options here. The synscan, which you execute by adding the -ss flag to your Nmap command, is your absolute go-to. It's incredibly fast and super stealthy because it's a half-open scan. It sends a SYN packet and waits for a response, but it never actually completes the connection. The catch? It requires root privileges. If you lack root access, Nmap forces your hand into using the connect scan flag -st. Since this one establishes a full connection using the system's API and then tears it down, it's noisy, it's slower, and let's be real, it is highly likely to light up the target system's logs.
Section 4. Beyond TCP, UDP and SCTP.
You kick off a UDP scan against a target using the -su flag. Now, as you probably know, UDP scanning is notoriously painful and slow. We're talking hours for a full scan sometimes, mainly because systems actively rate limit UDP error responses. But skipping it? That's a massive mistake, because attackers are for sure targeting these widely deployed services. You have to check for exploitable UDP ports like DNS on port 53, SNMP on 161 and 162, and DHCP on 67 and 68. Nmap even cleverly sends protocol-specific payloads to these ports just to coax a response out of them.
And what if you're dealing with highly specialized telecommunications networks? For that, Nmap provides the SCTP init scan using the -sy flag. SCTP is a serious alternative to TCP and UDP that is heavily used in telecom. This scan operates just as stealthily as a TCP synscan does. It sends an init chunk and waits for an init ACK chunk. This allows you to accurately map out telecom infrastructure without ever fully completing an association.
Section 5. Stealth and evasion tactics.
Okay, by manipulating specific TCP flags, we can exploit a really subtle loophole in the TCP RFC 793 protocol documentation. Basically, the rules say that if a port is closed, a packet without a reset flag should trigger a reset packet in response. Open ports, supposedly, will just drop it. To test this trick in the terminal, we can use the null scan, -sn, sending 0 bits, the fin scan, -sf, sending only the fin bit, or the infamous Xmas scan, -sx, which sets the fin, PSH, and URG flags all at once, literally lighting the packet up like a Christmas tree. These carefully crafted packets can sneak right past certain non-stateful firewalls to reveal closed ports.
Taking this a step further, we have a bit of history with the MyMon scan executed with the -sm flag, which uses a fin/ACK probe. Discovered way back in 1996 by Uriel Maimon, this is a brilliant example of how hyperspecific operating system idiosyncrasies can be exploited. While the official rules dictate a fin/ACK probe should always get a reset packet back regardless of port status, a lot of BSD-derived systems uniquely drop the packet completely if the port is open. It's a fascinating quirk.
Section 6. Advanced Network Mapping.
Now here we have two distinct command line tools that flip the script on how we normally operate. The TCP/ACK scan, using the -SA flag, actually never determines if a port is open or closed. No, it's exclusively used to map out stateful firewall rule sets to see exactly what is being filtered. The TCP window scan, using the -SW flag, goes a step further. It cleverly reads the TCP window size on the rejected packets. On certain systems, it can deduce exactly what is sitting behind that firewall, because open ports will return a positive window size, while the closed ones just return a 0 window.
All right, this next one, it is pure, advanced cloak and dagger work, the TCP idle scan using the -SI flag. This is a completely blind scan because it sends absolutely 0 packets from your real IP address to the target. Instead, you exploit predictable IP fragmentation IDs on a trusted third-party zombie host. By bouncing your probes off this trusted machine, you not only completely hide your identity from intrusion detection systems, but you also map out internal trust relationships based on what the firewall allows that zombie machine to see in the first place.
And hey, speaking of bouncing off third parties, why make an FTP server scan itself? Using the FTP bounce scan, which is the -B flag, you can actually ask a vulnerable third-party FTP server to send files to your target's ports just to see what's open. Because organizational FTP servers are often placed where they have deep internal network access, you are essentially proxying your scan through their internal systems to entirely bypass their outer firewalls. Pretty wild, right?
We have covered an immense amount of ground today. By mastering these specific Nmap commands, you stop guessing and you start engineering your way into or protecting any network you come across. You now understand exactly how to swap that blunt hammer for a precision toolkit. So I'll leave you with this final thought. Looking at your own network defenses today, which of these command line tools will you reach for first to uncover your own blind spots?